yogis, it's Cassandra. This is an hour-long practice that's going to focus on deep back bends. We are going to work our way up to wheel pose. Normally when you think of back bends, you think of spine flexibility, which is definitely a huge component of being able to get into wheel pose. But another really important factor is that we need a strong core. So we're going to work our abdominals, and we're also going to open up, stretch the shoulders, the chest, and the hip flexors, which are all key elements of having a great back bend. You'll need to have 2 blocks, and we are going to start in supported fish pose. So if you've never done this pose before, you need to put 1 block underneath the upper back, so in between the shoulder blades, and then the other block can go underneath the head. And if you've never done it before, you might want to start the block on its lowest level. Otherwise, you can always lift it up a little bit higher to go deeper into the chest. So as you lower yourself onto your first block, really make sure that it is underneath the upper back and not the mid back. If the block is too low, the pose really won't be comfortable or easy to hold. And then align the other block underneath the top of the head. And it's up to you if you want to keep your hands on your belly or by your side. And I'm just going to start with my legs straight out in front, but if you wanted to, you can bend your knees and keep your feet flat to the ground. So this should feel like an opening at the front of the chest. If there's compression or pinching, you can always lower the height of your block. Feel the shoulders drop down and get heavy. Start connecting to the breath by inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Seeing if you can get the length of your inhale to be just as long as the exhale. Breathing deeply into the chest. Feel the rib cage expand side to side and front to back with every breath you take. Let's stay for our final 5 breaths in this pose. If you'd like to take it one step further for these last few moments, you can reach your arms up overhead. If this feels like too much of a stretch into the shoulders and into the chest, just come back to having your arms alongside the body. Last inhale through the nose, and slowly slide the arms back down. To come off of the blocks, you'll need to tuck your chin in towards your chest so you can lift the head off of the first block and just set it off to the side, and then prop yourself up onto your forearms so that you can move the other block. And keep it close by. Lower all the way down onto your belly. Reach the arms. Lower all the way down onto your back. Reach the arms up overhead. Take a deep stretch from fingertips to toes. And let's bend into the knees. Please grab a hold of just 1 block. Feet are flat to the mat. And we're going to place the block in between the upper thighs. So keep the block on its thinnest level And we're just gonna use it there so that you have something to squeeze and hold onto. We're gonna come into bridge pose to help strengthen the back body and get deeper into the legs. Feet are about hip width distance apart. Relax the arms. We're just gonna use lower body strength for now. Start to press the feet to the floor, squeeze your block, and then curl tailbone up as you lift your hips, lower back, and mid back off the ground. So normally when we do bridge pose without a block, usually when we go up, the knees will open up a little wider than the hips. Having the block there ensures that we can keep squeezing and engaging the inner thighs to support the hips as they lift up a little bit higher. So in supported fish, we were breathing into the chest and upper back. In this bridge pose, try to breathe into the belly and lower back. Pressing down firmly through all four corners of both feet. Get a little bit more lift. And now nice and slow, really controlled, start to unwind as you roll inch by inch so that mid back, lower back, and hips come down to the floor. Let's take the block and move it off to the side. We won't need it. We're coming back into our bridge pose, so don't alter the legs. Just start to press your feet to the floor, curl tailbone up, and imagining that you still had your block there. Are you able to lift your hips up without letting the knees go any wider than the hips? Keep that same engagement in the muscles down into the legs and into the inner thighs. We're gonna lean the weight onto our left leg and then extend your right leg up towards the sky. So we haven't really warmed up our hamstrings yet. Feel free to bend your right knee as much as you need to. Instead, we want to focus on pressing into that left foot and seeing if we can lift our hips up a little bit higher. Take one more breath. And then carefully set your hips back down to the floor. You're going to cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh. Keep your right foot flexed and press your knee away from you, taking reclined pigeon pose. Stay here if this is enough. Otherwise, reach through and either hold on to the back of your thigh or the front of your shin as you pull your left knee in towards your belly. Stretching deeply into that right hip and right glute. You can rock a little bit side to side. Soften the neck and shoulders as much as you can. The arms are only working a little bit. And let's set the left foot back down to the floor. Uncross the legs, so right foot comes back down to the mat. Feet are hip width distance apart. Let's come back into our bridge pose. Press the feet to the floor, slowly curl and roll up until your hips lift up. And you can drop the shoulders, relax the muscles in the jaw. Let's lean our weight onto our right leg and then extend the left leg up towards the sky. Keep breathing